Hey, 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 hey. Welcome to Tea Talks with Tawan. I am excited to be here with you. You know, it's been a minute. So we're excited to be back here. We're excited to come and drop, spill a little tea with you. If you've never been to Tea Talks with Tawan, let me just give you a few minutes and tell you about who we are, who I am, and what we do. So I am Tawan, and I am Tea Talks with Tawan. And here, what we believe is everybody needs a little TLC. And what I'm talking about is that transformational lifestyle content that helps us with becoming our best selves and creating our best lives. And one of the ways that we do that is we invest in our personal development. And here we spill the tea on all topics related to personal development, those things that help us grow personally and help us grow professionally. So I'm glad that you're here with Tea Talks. If this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is not your first time, just give us a shout out over in comments. Say hello, say hi, tell me how you're doing. And of course, let me know if you are enjoying any of the tea that I'm spilling on today. So let's get all the little formalities out the way. If this is your first time here, we would like to have you back. We ask you to go ahead and hit those little signals. If you're on YouTube, hit that little button so you can get the notifications when we come on. If you're on Facebook, we hit your little notification so you can get it there. I don't want you to miss it. Now, what I want you to do next. I want you to grab a seat. I want you to get your pen and pad because I always will spill some tea that will give you some nuggets with some things that you could take away and help. And remember, we're talking about transformational lifestyle content, the information that is going to help us be better, evolve into our best self so we can create the best life possible that we can live. So for this month, I'm going to focus on a subject that I think is very important. It's been a subject that I've been dealing with a lot. It's always a part of my sessions with my clients, but it seems like it's been something I've been dealing with a lot with some of my clients and some of the people that have been coming to me for consultations, and that's habits. People do not seem to fully understand habits and how they can transform our life for the better or for the worse. So I want to take some time to talk about today. We're not going to be long. This is going to kind of be like a power coaching session because I don't want to keep you long. I just want to give you some nuggets, some things to think about. I want you to write them down in your journal and explore and look and I'm gonna challenge you to kind of look at yourself and see and look at your habits. What habits are you forming? What habits do you have? And are these habits helping you or are they hindering you? Now, like I said, this is something that's been coming up with my clients. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things today. But the first thing I want to talk about, what is habits? Because it seems like sometimes people know what habits really are, and maybe they don't know what habits are. But habits are, how do I want? It's an automatic behavior. Let me just say that it is an automatic behavior that we do without even thinking. And I know you're thinking about what is an automatic habit. When we get up in the morning, matter of fact, when we hit the snooze button, that's an automatic habit, an automatic behavior. We don't even have to put any thought into it. So a habit is an automatic behavior that really is kind of mindless and doesn't require any mental energy to do. It's just something that we do automatically. Our brain sends a signal and say, hey, this is what needs to be done. And our brain probably goes into like automatic pilot and it goes directly to that habit. And habit is formed in three ways. I've heard different people talk about habits, and they've talked about habits can be formed using 4 or 3 ways. I like these 3 ways that I have adopted the 3 ways, I should say. And the 3 ways habits start, of course, I talked about is a pattern. It's a psychological pattern. And it starts on something called a habit loop. And a habit loop is really just a process, a 3-piece process that identifies 3 parts: a cue, a routine, and a reward. So there is a cue, something that signals us to do it. We go into the routine and there's a reward in it for us at the end. Now, I know you probably have never thought about a habit that way, but let's just think about sleeping. I talked about hitting the alarm clock, how that hitting and snoozing for another 5 minutes and snoozing for another 5 minutes, that is a habit. That is a mindless automatic habit that most of the world does. Everybody hits the snooze button every now and then. Even on our phone, we hit the snooze button. So let's talk about the cues and the routine and the rewards that come. And I'm going to use just hitting the snooze button as it. So it's 5 a.m. The clock go off. You hit the snooze button. You don't have to think about what to do. Your brain automatically knows because you have repeated this pattern for over so many periods of time that it has now become a routine pattern of your day or routine pattern that you're accustomed to. So your brain sends a cue. The alarm goes off. The routine is you hit the alarm, and the reward is you get to sleep for another 6 to 8 minutes. See how habits work? Habits are important. One of the reasons I wanted to talk about habits, and one of the reasons I'm talking about what is the meaning of habits, because if we're talking about living our best lives and becoming the best version of ourselves, I think we need to fully understand all the pieces and understand it and know what they mean and how they play a role in our lives. Just because, we all have habits. There's nobody out here who doesn't have it. We all have habits. It's so funny. I have a little four-legged baby, and I was watching her the other day, and she even has habits. So our animals even have habits. So it's innate that we're going to have habits because truth of the matter is habits are very good for us. Habits are very good for us, but I think we need to understand how we get these habits because it doesn't really take a long period of time to gain a habit, and some of the habits we have are helping us and some of them are hindering us. And when we're looking at ourselves and being self-reflective and self-aware of who we are, we need to know what our habits are, and we need to know the role that they play in our lives. And again, are they helping or are they hindering? But before you can know if they help or hinder, you truly need to understand what is a habit. So let's go back. What is a habit? Because I want us to truly get it. Habit is really an automatic behavior that we respond to in response to a trigger. Something trigger us and the habit just goes in. Let's go back to what I used as an example, the alarm clock. The alarm clock goes off. What we do? We reach over, we hit the alarm clock, we hit snooze, and we get a reward for hitting the snooze. And the reward is we get at least 6 to 8 more minutes to sleep before the alarm goes off again. And guess what you're going to redo? Guess what you're going to do? It's going to be so mindless. You're going to hit it. Your brain is so programmed that most times people will hit the snooze button at least 2 to 3 times. And it's just automatic. You're not even thinking about it. You're not even halfway, not even all the way awake at the time. Most of the time, and like I said, most habits are done mindlessly. It doesn't take anything. It is an automatic response to a trigger. So that you should know. The purpose of habits. Now, let me just say this. There are few different purposes for habits. The first one is they help us to conserve mental energy. You don't have to put a lot of thinking into when you're using habits. Like I said, the alarm clock goes off. You reach over, you hit the alarm clock, you hit snooze, you get a couple of more minutes of sleep, you get your reward. You had a trigger, the alarm clock went off. You had a response, which is you hitting, and then you had a reward. So there is a purpose for it, not using all our mental energy. It doesn't take a lot to just hit the snooze button. We get up and we brush our teeth. That don't take a whole lot of energy. It don't take a lot of mental energy. We get up, we walk, we go to the bathroom. Walking is a habit, whether you want to believe it or not, but it is a habit. So it helps us conserve mental energy by automatic routine task. It allows us to focus our attention on more important and challenging tasks. So that means, again, a lot of our habits don't require a lot of attention. It doesn't require us to put much effort into it because it's so routine. And I think that's the part I wanted to get us to understand. It provides us a sense of structure and stability. We all have habits that we get up and do in the morning. We get up. We hit the alarm clock and we hit the snooze. Then we get up, go straight to the bathroom. Some of us go to the bathroom. We brush our teeth. We wash our face. We get ourselves ready. We go downstairs. We put the cup of coffee or tea up, and we get ready. We start preparing and get ready for our day. And we have a routine, and we follow that routine habitually every day. So it provides us with some structure and some stability in our lives. It gives us a sense of control and predictability and otherwise unpredictable in an unpredictable world. So some our habits let us know that if we do certain things, this is going to happen. We can predict this is what's going to happen. And it can be a source of pleasure and satisfaction when it aligns with our core values and our goals. Because our habits really should be working for us and not against us. We all have them. We've all heard that there are good habits and there are bad habits. Our habits really are here to help us if we use them in the right way, if we create the right type of habits. And I want to stop right here and I want to ask you, have you thought about what your habits are lately? Have you just sat back and looked at all of the habits that you have? Because again, I'm going to challenge you to decide, to look at and see, are your habits helping you and hindering you? Because if they're not helping you to get to be the best, to get the best, to become the best version of yourself, helping you create your best life, then they are habits that are not serving and honoring you. And there are habits that you need to change and make them into good habits or just totally get rid of those habits. So I want you to just write down on your pen and paper, just list down 5 habits that you know that you have. And I want you to think about your good habits and you think about your bad habits. But just write down 5 habits that you have and put down on one side of the piece of paper the habits, and then on another side put helping, and on the other side put hindering. I know one habit that I have that it is a bad habit, and it was over talking people. And most people probably don't even realize that they do it so much, but it's really over talking folks. And when I realized it one day, I was like, this is not a good habit, especially as a coach. Because as a coach, one of the things that I need to do is I need to be able to do effective communication and effective listening, because listening is a part of communication. So in order to effectively listen, I have to keep my mouth closed so I can hear everything that my client is saying. To interrupt them will not allow me to fully hear what they're saying or give them the opportunity to finish or to say what they need to do. So that was a hard habit for me to work on, because I really had to get to the root of it. No longer have that habit. But when I say that to people, because people do it a lot, and it was like, that's not really a bad habit. Well, when we don't listen to people and give them the full opportunity to speak and say what they want, and we keep over talking them, that's a bad habit. So look at your habits, write them down. Have the 3 columns: habit, helping, hindering. I'd be interested to learn what you have said and what you've done. How do our habits help us? Well, if you know me and what I do, I work with my clients, helping them to truly align their vision and goals together and putting together a life plan so they can have, so they're not just wandering in life, but they have a plan and they're working towards the things that they want to achieve. And when you have good habits, your habits will play a pivotal role in you setting your goals, planning. Matter of fact, that's a good habit, setting goals. But when you align your habits with your values, and the things that you want and believe in, they work together to get you to that end destination. Because procrastination will never get you what you want, but non-procrastination will lead you there. Setting goals will get you to your end point. Um, Getting up and exercising will help you with your health goal. Participating, listening to podcasts will help invest in your personal development. There are habits that you can create that will help you with getting to your end goal, whatever your end goal is. If your end goal is to save money, then being able to being able to save money, being disciplined to save is a habit. So one of the benefits of having habits is to help align. When we align them with our values and goals, they can help us reach our end destination. And we all want to be successful in achieving whatever goal that we set for ourselves. So it's important that we look at our habits and see if the habits are helping or hindering. Habits can help us break down the goals because it takes discipline, it takes work, it takes your habits to help you reach your long-term goals, to help you break down into small and manageable steps. I think that's the biggest one for me. That is one of the biggest ways our goals help us. It helps us to align with our core values and lead us to achieving what our long and short-term goals are. How can habits hurt us? Well, we all know habits can hurt us. There are habits like smoking that can hurt us, not exercising, the lack of exercising, that's a habit. Lack of exercising can hurt us. Doing the wrong exercises can hurt us. Over drinking can hurt us. Gossiping can hurt us. Being judgmental can hurt us. Over talking people can hurt us. So you have to look at, and there's a million habits that a person can have. I'm just hitting on the surface. I have not even gone down and touched all of the types of habits that we can have. But if you just think about, because habits are routines, things that we do unconsciously, things that we do that is mindless, that don't require much, they're automatic, if you remember. And there are a million things that we do that we swear, we cuss, we don't plan. Because non-planning is a habit. Most people, if you don't plan in one area of your life, you don't plan in any area of your life. So non-planning is a habit. Planning is a habit. So our habits can hurt us. Our habits can help us, but there is a significant reason for us having habits because they do lead us to our end goal if they serve us correctly. So I'm going to challenge you to look at your habits. See if the habits that you have, are they helping you or are they hindering you? And if they are helping you, then they are good habits to have. That's a good habit. But if they are hindering you, then you need to see if you can turn that bad habit into a good habit, or do you need to eliminate that habit altogether? Remember, habits are good for you. We all need them and we all have them. They serve a purpose in our lives. We just need to make sure that the purpose that they are serving are honoring who we want to become and what we want to achieve, and they're not doing us a disservice. I want to thank you for letting me just come in for a few minutes and just to empower you. We're going to come back next week and we're going to talk about how habits play into our character, our attitudes, and different things like this. Because, like I said, habits are very important. They play a pivotal role in our lives. So I want to explore a little bit more, but I first wanted to just introduce what habits really mean and what role they play in our lives and what purpose do they have. I hope that you have gotten a little TLC, some transformational lifestyle content. I hope you will come back and join me next week, because we're definitely going to talk about habits and how they play the role in our lives. I'm going to give some more examples how they play a role with our attitudes and our character, and how it plays a role in who we become and how we show up in the world. So again, I want to thank you for joining me with Tea Talks with Tawan. I'm your certified life coach, Tawan. It was a pleasure being here with you. Please drop a note and let me know, what habits do you have, and are they serving you or dishonoring you? Thank you.